We are back on another Wuthering Waves video where we're playing Wuthering Waves, and I wanted to go over my honest thoughts of the story and just kind of what I'm thinking now, roughly like 12-ish hours later. Um, what a quest. Yo, that was a story quest, man. That was a story quest. And wow, I mean, I don't even know where to start. I want to show you comments on my video, a couple Twitter threads that I saw, but before I get into all that, I think this story quest at some points could feel a little yappy and maybe confusing with, I don't know, sometimes I felt like maybe Frolova was kind of like speaking in riddles a little bit. She was the Riddler. Overall was such a different which is so different from what you get from a normal gacha game. You normally get the hero saves the day, the villain is always redeemable, yada yada yada. Frolova stood on business. Frolova just stood on business, but so did Rover. And both of those standing on business when they have two separate goals, but they're similar. Not their goals are similar, but they are similar people, and they have a past that Rover has no idea about, but Frolova is fully aware of. I mean, you're on a collision course for something awesome, and that's what we got. And the way they told it, again, other than maybe a couple moments where I was like a little lost for a second or two, I think it was great. I think it was great. Yeah, dude, like there was a lot of controversy going into this of will Frolova make or break the game, and I understood the perspective for people, right? I didn't think I was ever going to quit the game if she was like another Gathering Wives or redeeming herself, but I mean, they did exactly the opposite, right? And they foreshadowed it so much. They foreshadowed the death of Frolova throughout this quest to the point where I was like, it's not going to happen. Like it's too much, right? They're doing way too much for me to be convinced that they're going to get rid of her. And well, when he clipped her in that moment, and we could discuss the motives and whatnot, because, and a couple other things, but in that moment, I was like, "Fuck! I wish this was Gathering Wives. Fuck! I wish it could have been anyone else, just not fucking Frolova. We could have killed someone else, and I would have been fine. They made me feel." I don't want to say regret for complaining about Gathering Wives or Rover's past relationships with anyone else, but it made me feel like, okay, I wanted this, but goddamn, did I really want this? And they made you feel, right? So the thing with this, and I'm still trying to process everything because I think there's a lot of perspectives to this. We're seeing the war right now with Rover fans and Frolova fans going at it, and I think when you walk away from a quest where there's at least two or more main perspectives that are completely clashing like this, and it's not black and white, the writers have accomplished their mission. They've done what they've set out to do, and that's create a compelling story that has touched people and made people feel something. I cried. If you want to, you can go watch my live stream. It's on YouTube. It's in the video format. I cried, and I understood Rover's, I understood Rover, where it's like, I don't know this person. Why would I believe them? The only thing I know of them currently is just horrendous shit. And Frolova's like, yo, fuck you. You left me. And then reset your memories. And so when Rover kills Frolova, I'm like, okay, I get it. I absolutely get it. But then you see just Frolova's tragic backstory and how she completely looked different. She sounded different. I think my favorite thing about this was Frolova. I was going to complain about it a little bit in the quest, but I didn't want to say too much because I just wanted to wait and see what happened. I was getting a little tired of her VA. I was like, oh my God, she's just so fucking monotone 24/7. Shut the fuck up. Like, not as bad as the Anifa bot, but Jesus Christ. But then you go back into her backstory and has a happier voice with more life and more emotions to it. And she just has like a happier outfit. And I'm like, oh, dude. Like, if you can just bear through that and be patient with the monotonous of her for 2.5 hours till you get to that point, it's like, Such a fucking genius detail, right? I'm gonna glaze the fuck out of this. Again, I don't know if it's the best overall quest, but for me, it is easily the best last 30 minutes of a gacha quest I've ever done. And there's things I think they could have improved on, which we can touch on in a moment. But they found a way for a character. I guess one of the things that I think they could have improved on is I would have loved if we got more of Frolova throughout the story to make me feel a little bit more. I think maybe she was only in 2 main quests. Maybe correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe a little bit more than that, but I don't know. I think they did, even putting that to the side with the limited time we had with Frolova, they were able to develop a connection in the 2.5 hours before that climax where I don't know, man. They have a way of doing this where you feel like you know a person. And now I know like maybe not everyone's gonna get emotionally attached to Frolova the way I did, but I was sitting there and I was like, dude, this was the I don't normally pull because I like characters. I'm against that. I'm trying to save money. I don't do all that shit. This was the first character in a gacha game. I'm like, okay, I need to spend money to pull them. Like I absolutely adore this character. You know what I mean? And so I was just like, oh. And listen, her motives, well, they made sense, right? I saw a Legion's tweet, and I agree with him. It's like, dude, people were mad at, oh, well, Frolova is such a horrible person. Like, listen, look, Frolova is a villain. Like Frolova is like objectively a villain, absolutely. But you could feel for Frolova, right? I believe somewhere in the tweet it was like, if I had a button that I could push to bring people back I love to sacrifice some people, I'd do it. And obviously everyone's gonna do the, well, actually, I'm morally better than you, so I would never do that. All right, yeah, like fuck off, right? Obviously people would do that, and so that makes it hit harder when you see that Rover just like kills her and brushes her off. She's in this state of like deep mourning, and unlike Finance, she didn't have to relive it a million times because he's a bum. But yeah, it was a very well told story. Um, and again, the fact, I mean, I'll keep saying it, but you have so many people walking away saying, fuck Rover. They know Rover's right. Rover's not necessarily wrong in this situation, but like, fuck, man, like, just fuck you, though, right? And it's like, it was a great thing. I thought it was a great thing, man. It made me very, very emotional, and I can't give this enough praise. I can't, because I think it was just a work of art when it comes to this. Like, this is a great quest. This was a great quest. Like, I don't even think there's like any other negative I could provide other than maybe sometimes it felt like she was speaking in riddles, like the Riddler. But yeah, yeah. The multifaceted perspective and her intentions were so pure and honest and relatable. I think the other thing was I'm trying to. Oh, the thing was she didn't really bend the knee. And, you see it with Scaramouche. I mean, you can name Raiden, and it's not just those games, but like any gotcha villain, Aventurine, and she just didn't bend the knee. And now this sets a precedent where, listen, this character's dead. They're a villain. They're just straight up a villain. You understand their backstory, but they're fucking dead. Now we have opened the floodgates to the point where we can start getting real villains like Frolova in these gacha games, or at least Wuthering Waves, and that also excites me. That is a thing where I sit down and I look back and I'm like, okay, Scar could just be a straight up a piece of shit. It doesn't need to be like, like Naruto. We're the same though. Like, no, like let these people cook, and you could sell a villain. And so, just even from like a gameplay perspective, or in the sense of like, okay, we could release these characters, the story just fucking hit me on so many different levels. So those are like my initial thoughts. There was these two threads I wanted to go over because, again, people have vastly different opinions on this, vastly different opinions. And again, I love this. I'm not here to roast anyone or anything like that. I find this discourse very interesting and really good for the community because, again, it's not clear cut and dry. Or maybe you might think it is, but someone's got a reason for why it isn't, right? So you look at this and it says Rover 2.5 is a huge letdown. Now, a lot of people felt this way in terms of character development. Doubts too much when there's no reason to lie, takes no responsibility for what they did to Frolova, dismisses Frolova's plan without any solid evidence, and resorts to violence when losing the debate. Dude, it's like, look, I don't agree with this take, right? Like, obviously, I don't agree with this. I mean, I understand why he's going to doubt Frolova. He doesn't know about the past. He doesn't know about it, or they don't know about it, right? And taking responsibility for something you don't know is like hard to do. Like, you can't do that, right? Or you could, but and it's a little bit different. Like, Frolova is literally actively like running experiments and keeping these people like their souls alive as like tacit discords in hopes to bring them back. But in a way, they're still kind of suffering. And he's like, they're like, whichever version of the Rover, like, yo, this is fucked up. Like, you gotta let that shit go. Like, they ain't coming back, little homie. Like, this isn't like Tupac and Cuba type shit. Like, they're gone. Like, they're just straight up gone, right? And so obviously scroll through here, you can see a bunch of different comments, but someone breaks down in the thread. I'm actually said how this guy missed Rover's character. Rover doubt because all the experience from Frackless are them trying to destroy humanity. You just can't hang an amnesic for the crimes they don't remember. Rover could say sorry nor judge their past self. They don't remember exactly. Pretty much the same thing like I already said, but it's just interesting. Like, I like seeing these debates or going through my comment section. I have people saying, Rover's the real villain. I love Rover, right? Just so many different fucking opinions. And yeah, I love it. I love it, bro. I love this discourse. I love the fact that people are feeling different types of ways. Bro shouldn't have killed her. Trust me, Rover will become Aaron Yeager. We lose. The story's pretty tame and it showed a great example of neutral consequences are portrayed. Love this. L Rover. A lot of L Rovers in my comments, actually, which is crazy. But yeah, I think overall this is great. I think it was a great piece of story. And again, would I give it a 10 out of 10? I mean, I did last night. Or I give it like a 9.5. I don't know, man. At least in terms of the ending and what it made me feel, it was a 10 out of 10. The whole quest, I'm like, it'd probably be like a 9, right? Like an 8.59. Maybe a little bit more intense action sequences could have done it for me, but I don't even really care about that too much because that wasn't really the point of the quest. But yeah, dude, I fucking love it. Like, I'm so excited to see what happens, and yeah, I can't stop thinking about it. And also, I will say this, the part that really broke me was the 2 black screens. Like, I know we make fun of Honkai Star Rail and all these other games using black screen white text. But when they put the 2 black screens of white text, like, I had a dream, we were together, but then, like, I'm paraphrasing, but then I woke up and it was all a dream. It's like that's how you utilize a black screen white text. Like, that's how it's done. Like, yes, transitions could be whatever, but you adding that it's fucking up right now. Adding that to the quest and as kind of like as like putting a cap on everything. I thought it was beautiful. I thought it was a beautiful quest, man. I thought it was a beautiful quest. I'm sure like maybe lore people could rip into maybe things they didn't like or liked even more. I'm not too sure. But from my understanding of the lore, my understanding of the game, I thought it was great. I loved it. I loved every second of it. And, fuck Cristoforo. So that being said, let me know what you think. I love you. I'll see you in the next one. Mwah.